Want to first just thank you all for jumping on here. My name is Matt Weldy, fortunate to serve as executive director for the Monogram Club, but I also have the privilege and part of why I'm excited about today's coaches chat is I serve as sport administrator for our fencing program, which means I get to work hand in hand with Gia and his staff and our student athletes. A lot of behind the scenes and kind of working together to make sure that we're in a position to compete and to compete at the highest level. I don't need to sing Gia's praises on this intro. You all know him and you know his makeup and everything that he pours into Notre Dame in this program. I will share that I just completed a round of senior exit interviews, which is common practice as we're graduating a class of student athletes. And I think there were 9 or 10 of them total, and all of them praised Gia for the impact that he made upon their lives and how prepared they are for the next chapter after being part of the fencing program for 4 years. So just speaks volumes. And not that we ever need validation, but we have the greatest fencing coach in the world leading this program. It's important that he stays here and keeps leading the charge and taking the programs to new heights. Gia recently completed his 11th season at the helm of the Notre Dame fencing program, which, as you all know, culminated with the Fighting Irish capturing their 14th national championship. It marked the sixth national title during Gia's tenure as head coach. Um, and I wanted to just kind of share some of those stats and those updates with you. I will just thank the audience. We do these chats as a virtual way to connect with you all, provide some kind of behind the scenes updates on what's going on with the program, what we're doing to prepare over the summer months, and what the roster makeup is going to look like next year. So I'll thank our Monogram Club members, our Rockne Athletics Fund members, other friends of the Notre Dame Athletic Department for joining and for all that you do to put us in a position to compete and to do that at the highest level. We're also fortunate to be joined by a program alum, Francesca Russo, who you might have met earlier in the call here. She's going to serve as moderator for the coaches chat. That's one element that we weave into this so that you don't have to hear from me. You hear from a program alum who has a strong relationship with Gia and is close to the program. For those of you that don't know, Fran is a 2018 Notre Dame graduate. She was a two-time NCAA Sabre champion and four-time All-American, originally from Wayne, New Jersey. And I told Fran on a call last week that we're overdue. The last time we had her on campus, we were celebrating our 2020 Tokyo Olympians, which she was certainly one of them. I think that was 2021 of the fall. So we're overdue to get her back on campus. But without further ado, I will introduce Francesca Russo to kind of take the mic and lead us today.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Welcome. And thank you so much. This is such an honor. Always happy to come back and do Notre Dame things. It's way better than regular work. So happy to be here. And I'm so happy to introduce Gia. Gia, I don't know if you want to say a few words before we get started.
Thank you so much for being part of this, guys. I don't get to meet so many amazing people at the same time, besides when I coach here at 65 plus athletes. But thank you for being a part of us. Thank you for everything you've done for Notre Dame fencing. The reason we are here and we're standing strong and making you guys proud because of all you've done for contributing to developing and bringing this program to the place it is right now. Francesca is one of this. I'm sitting, if you see 63, we had produced 63 national champions. That's including individual and the team titles. So 14 times minus 63 is like 50, 40, 49 probably. But 49 national champions in individual events. Francesca is one of the 6 women who captured the title twice. So without her, and I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything, without her joining us and made that turnaround when we had to do in 2014 class, we would not be sitting here. She was 4 times NCAA All-American, averaging 18 bouts. That's a lot for 4 years to giving to us for the team tally. So, and besides being a great athlete, Olympian, and the soul of this team, a team captain, she is one of the best humans I've ever met. So I'm truly starstruck and honored to be part of this conversation with Francesca leading the charge.
Starstruck is a great word. Thank you, Gia. Always full of compliments. Okay, well, without further ado, we can go ahead and get started with our questions. We have so many, so we'll try to keep this going as smooth as possible. So the first question, Gia, what is the most important factor other than recruiting talented fencers that will continue to make Notre Dame a powerhouse academic institution and fencing school?
I'm going to start from a little bit far away, and I'm not great in the public speaking, by the way. But when you talk to family, I'm pretty eased right now, and I'm pretty comfortable addressing you guys. I don't want this to be a fest of bragging fest. I don't want to brag about it, but I can give you the little tales and insights how we function here, how we produce these incredible athletes and even better people and prepare them for the next chapter of their lives. The reason is the few. Obviously, recruiting, it's a huge part of it. I would say university support of fencing, it's absolutely monumental. We have the best facilities in the world. And we're not, this is not the exaggeration. You can go to any Olympic training center and you can talk to Francesca, who's been around the world a few times, or Lee Kiefer, or our greatest all around it. And they'll tell you for the college team, this is as good as it gets. No one is close to us. Obviously, we have a monumental support for alumni, all of you guys, because without your support, we'll not be able to send the coaches to the World Cups and athletes to the World Cups, which has changed a lot since you left, Francesca. We kind of shortchanged you. We used to pay for a couple of World Cups for you, and now we do literally anybody goes to World Cup, we are really covering mostly. So it gives them a confidence that parents that bring kids to Notre Dame will give them the fast track to Olympic kind of aspiration. Obviously, intellectual school, the school isn't great. So we are in part of our peer schools, the Ivies and the Stanfords and Dukes and Northwesterns, that we could give the education, the same level of education to our athletes. But I would say, the equipment is great, but the coaching, the developing an athletes, and it's really manifested itself the last few years because recruiting wise, we are not the leading recruiting schools in terms of the top talent. We were lucky with Francesca or so many, but when it comes down to it, we probably draw 5 to 7% of the top athletes. So what happens after they arrive here? It's the magic really starts. We have the best strength and conditioning program, truly. And we brought one of the best in the world to come here and give us the tips about it. Or we will seek out to the best professionals in the world to give us advice and give us the kind of guidance how to prepare our kids. We have, I was talking to Francesca. We have a shoe designed for Notre Dame standards and Notre Dame colors, who gives, obviously a great piece of equipment, but a confidence to our kids that they're really special. And the university really supports that, those aspirations. But the pivotal moment is coaching. It truly is. And it's when I say coaching, it's not about me. It's truly the cadre of an incredible people here. We kind of selected from all over the world to come here and be a guardians of the culture, guardians of the integrity, and the best what they do. So those are the questions to why we do it, as a coaching staff here, because we want to make this place better, because we want to, make Notre Dame proud. And how we do it, with integrity. And this is nothing we need to reinvent the wheel here. Prior to us, our coaches, the coach Chico was the founder of our culture, our direction. So we try to continue what he started. And who are we doing with? We're doing with the best coaching staff who are absolutely devoted with their lives to this program. And it will be at 1 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock in the morning or any time. For them, this is not the job. For them, this is the life. I wouldn't say the schools and I would say the facts, but few of our coaches who are still here after 10 years. Cedric is here. Cedric Loiseau, our FA coach and associate head coach, had a couple head coaching offers from the, through his journey for doubling his salary, and he decided to stay here at Notre Dame and continue this endeavor with us. Same with Christian, had a couple of options to go to elite schools last 2 years, and I was, white knuckling here, then please stay, and he turned down those offers. So this is the brotherhood of the people who care deeply about the school and more deeply about developing the athletes to the best humans possible. So what is the secret, the great ingredients, Francesca? It's all of them. But without this gentleman, with also, I don't want to miss Rolando Tucker, who's also joined us 3 years ago and already has 2 titles. I mean, Rolando could never lose. Those are the people who are the huge part of our success. And everything else, I mean, great athletes, but we take the athletes and make them better. We take the, like, per se, the 3-star athletes would say in a football world, and we'll make them 5-star in 2 years. We take the stars and we make them a superstar. So we take the superstars and we maintain their level. So this is my kind of overview, that while we are where we at and how successful we are is because of the coaching, because of incredible alumni support, and obviously incredible athletes who come here and be a part of our program.
I fully agree with that. I saw it firsthand, so it really does make a world of a difference when you have so much support behind you and you have world-class facilities. So with that, given all of the recent success in the years beyond my time, how do you preserve the motivation and intensity every day and keep the team from getting complacent?
Wow. I don't know how it happens at the end of the day, where we wake up one day after, wow, we've done it. But it's a combination between incredible, motivated kids who come here and want to get better, and the same way as the motivated coaching staff who would not let anything pass by. We evolved and we changed a lot every single year. Francesca, if you remember that you were the part of it, like a crawling to the jogging to the running together, we've done it. You were the first class as a head coach, as a recruiting class, and we evolved and we take the best practices possible from others. But at the same time, people who work the hardest, and our mantra is outworking anyone by 3-folds every single day. And we try to hold each other accountable. And that's kind of cliche, but it really happens here on any level when it comes to the coaching staff. There will be, I wouldn't say in my face, but really criticizing or pointing at or say, okay, coach, you are a head coach, we missed this mark here. What do you think about it? And vice versa. But at the same time, no one takes anything for personally. In that case, we know that everything is directed to enhance and make this program more robust. Motivation, we have Francesca, your pictures at 2 different occasions here on the walls. We put the murals for the teams, like we have one right here, the championship teams, and that's the motivation. I would go like about once a week and look at the faces of elated faces of the sharing the joy of victory together and what it takes to get there. And you are the part of the Navy SEAL training and the excruciating, mornings or hard workouts. But at the end of the day, we develop the grit, we develop the tenacity, we develop the life skills. And same time, if we compete and win together, that's the biggest joy. So motivation could come from every possible ways, but we have to find in ourselves the wanted to be a part of it and want to take us to the next level. So my coaches are the biggest motivators as well as you guys here.
Yeah, I totally agree. I found it always so amazing how everyone wanted to come to practice, and we really didn't have that like lackluster feeling every day. It was wanted to go to practice more than we wanted to go to school. We'll put it that way. Um, with 6 NCAA championships won to date, wow, which one was your most memorable and why?
There's a significant, some championships come easier than others. And obviously our first one, the 2017, selfishly as a head coach, um, we were not supposed to win that year. That looking back, that probably the most talented team we ever possessed. So we had 4 Olympians coming out of that team, 2 Olympic training partners, just superstars, level at the roster. But until, when I became a head coach, made the biggest mistake, and I promised the team that time on the opening speech that we're going to win the national championships. Well, year goes by, 2, and then you think you'll never win, and you'll be the only person at Notre Dame history of the coaches that you'll never win the championship. So for me, selfishly, the first one was so memorable that kind of monkey off the back, and I'm not going to be the worst coach in the Notre Dame fencing, and at least I could contribute something to this incredible organization. And obviously, the COVID was the hardest things we've ever done as a organization. Matt Weldy was our sports admin, was huge support to us to getting through those difficulties. We did not know where we're going to have a team 1 week to another because of the contact tracing, to the various, the obstacles we had to endure. 3 weeks before NCAAs, we missed the ACC championships because we had 6 cases of COVID on our team, and we couldn't travel. So the going to NCAAs was in jeopardy. And university had really strict rules that no off-campus living, no hotels, and God bless, they made exceptions for us for the last 3 weeks. That kids who were projected to go to NCAAs and had qualified, they allowed half of the team to move off the campus, kind of mitigated contact tracing, and we locked them up and we walked them to literally we would go to hotel at 10 o'clock and sit in the lobby. So make sure nobody, went anywhere. And they were incredibly responsible. So we get to the NCAAs, we competed for the first 3 days, and we're in the lead. And going to the day 4, and the lead we cannot blow. We're 20 points ahead. It's almost guaranteed. That night for the testing, for COVID testing, every night they tested us. 2 of opposing teams had failed it, kids failed the test, and they were disqualified. So the Howard testing moment comes in 2 hours, and it probably was the longest 2 hours of my life, because here we are, made it through it the entire year, and we could stumble somehow, somewhere the last day. And the last person passed the test. It was immediate results that the technology was given. Literally, I went straight to my bed. No, I had my coaches tell them, you run the meeting before the last day. I just didn't have anything in me. And we captured the title, and telling the kids, because we did not know what was going to happen during the year, what was the ramification of COVID would cost any program here at Notre Dame. We were telling them, being honest, if we don't win it, we might not exist. So we have to be the only team or a team, or some of the teams could win for Notre Dame. So we were telling them every single day, we are going to win this tournament. You're going to rise to occasion, and having the expectations, live up to the expectations, having the discipline and a grit and a little bit of Irish luck, we got through it. So COVID national championships would be the hardest. And the last one was the closest in a competition-wise till very last round. It was not decided. It's us or Columbia. So we kind of clinched it like 8 or 10 bouts before. So I cannot really tell, but those are the kind of highlights. So what I could recall the most memorable of the kind of championships, but most important national championships, always the next one, guys. So that will be
100%. Yes, well, that was a very tumultuous time, and I'm so glad I was not there during COVID, because I would have been extra stressed out. But to the athletes that got through it, like, hats off to them. So yeah, you've just completed 11 seasons. That's so incredible. And I'm sure from the first time you set foot as coach to now, there's just been a tremendous amount of growth. We kind of already spoke to all of the new developments. But what is the most different in the team from when you first started coaching versus today?
We evolve as a people, and then the biggest evolution happens. We evolve with our athletes because we grow with them. And we also take the best practices, and every single year we evaluate ourselves and say, okay, what we've done different. So the difference between when 10 years ago will be the iron discipline. We are probably the most disciplined team on campus or out there. Our kids are there's no room for error. In terms of to create the champions who would act like we have a sign at the exits of the or lockers. Excellence is the habit, and we try to preach the excellence. And try to practice the excellence. We're on time. We are prepared. We try to push the boundaries every single day. That's going to be the difference with it 10 years ago. Because the more talent we had, the less we had to probably endure. Now we have to do opposite. We have to take the kids and make them absolutely amazing. And with short period of time, there's no time to waste. So outworking, out hustling everyone every single day. Everything else is the same. We try to love our kiddos as much as we can, give them a shoulder to cry on and support every single time. That hasn't changed. The change that we are more robust than we were 10 years ago, for sure. Everything else, it's just how much we work and how disciplined we are.
Totally agreed. And that kind of is a great segue into the next question. Speaking on like work ethic, clearly you've done a great job ensuring like a very strong work ethic in college, but a lot of, it's only a 4-year time with you. So how can we better translate sport and work ethic into the workplace beyond Notre Dame fencing?
Our athletes come here, they're type A's. They come here when we recruit. They're incredible students. They're incredible athletes. So be recruited at Notre Dame, you have to be a full package on the Division I level. Obviously, they know the time management. They know you guys know how to work hard. For us, it's to combine them together with overarching view, that overarching kind of umbrella that you are supported, you're loved, and you're appreciated. Giving the task how hard we work, everything is obtainable, because if the motivation is there, because your coach's staff and your organization is committed to your well-being, truly is a magic formula here to have created champions here. So what was the question again? I lost it.
More so just how are you preparing your student athletes to move forward beyond fencing? I think you kind of answered it.
I think that teaching them a discipline and hold them accountable and create the habits, not to fall off the wagon. We all have the days when we don't want to do it, and we try to be example of the support at the same time, like the parenting, that they hold the line really high of expectations, and after that we do it often and more. That creates then incredible opportunities for you to be successful in your real world, in my opinion.
I agree.
And you've done pretty well, Francesca.
Yeah, and most of my colleagues from the fencing team are, out there doing amazing things. So I can definitely attest to that. Moving into goal setting, we spoke a little bit about, you're an extremely goal-oriented person. The first minute I got to school, we started talking about, okay, my plan for next year, this year. So what goal or goals do you set for our team to focus on during the season, throughout the year, and then over the course of their careers? How do you approach goal setting?
It's a motivational speech. Usually I come up with something like crazy, and then you have to expand the next year. So we want to win the national championships when you were here, and we won it. And next year, we're going to prove it that we're relevant team and we could do it again. And we did it. And then next time we fell off. And failure is the greatest lesson for the future. So we examined everything, and then COVID comes along, and we win the first one. And we told them, the kiddos, okay, if we don't win it, we're not going to exist, or jeopardy, and kind of scared them a little bit that they had to work hard and be disciplined. And And then we said, we're going to repeat. We cannot be a 17-18 team. We got to do it again, or 78, 70, 77, 78 team. And then we said, okay, no one has three-peated. And there was the goal for three-peat. And then again, with the cycle starts again. But this year was the first year we did not set any goals. We said that we are going to work the hardest and keep the standards what is custom to us. And living kind of in a golden era of the Notre Dame fencing, because Tokyo was the Olympics when we had the most participants. Francesca, you were one of them. We had 11 athletes coming from Notre Dame program participated in Tokyo. And Paris had the most medals won by Olympics by Notre Dame. So the momentum was so great that, okay, what can we do to top that? What can we do to continue that trend? We had the most World Cup wins this year in the history of Notre Dame. So 3 World Cup, the senior World Cup champions came this year from us, from women's épée side. The most top 16 finishes, most top 8 finishes, most probably junior world championship participants. So goal is the standard. The excellence is the habit. We're going to push the envelope to the maximum every single day, and let's see what's going to happen.
Totally. This year is not an Olympic year. So we have a question. How many of this year's team will be returning next year?
The team was very young this year. We only graduated 2 athletes from the roster who competed for the title this year. So the women's épée, Kaylin Say, and Rebecca Condescu, the women's foil. So we have at least 10 possible returnees. But it's not about the returnees. It's about the entire team, because we had a situation this year that 12 hours prior to NCAAs, our starting lineup young man got hurt at NCAAs, and we had to put the alternate. An alternate ended up being in the 3rd place, medaled. So whoever makes it, or we know that we have a depth in this and a capacity in this team. No matter if the 7 returning or 11 returning, that we have a second lineup or 3rd lineup could really fill the gap and be able to compete for the national championships. To the number wise, at 10 out of the 12, the current team, national championship team returning, but we have an incredibly healthy roster to be able to mitigate if something happens to the qualification.
Totally. And I guess NCAAs this year or next year are going to be at Notre Dame. Is that correct?
Yes, we're hosting.
Okay. So how do you see the opportunity to win another championship right here with home field advantage?
The format has changed. It didn't change? It's separate?
It's not official yet.
It's not official yet, but we're looking at separate championships, Francesca.
Whoa.
For women and the men this year. It will not be, most likely will not be combined championships. So if that happens, it completely changes the dynamics. At this year, we won both men and women's side of it. So men won by 11 points, or 10 points, and the girls won by 1 point, but combined, we won. It will change, obviously, the dynamics of the competition. We just want to have an opportunity. We never go to the year and say, hey, we're going to win the title, except for we had lost ACC title in 2018. And you were part of that when we lost to North Carolina. We came back, and I asked you in front of everyone in that meeting, Francesca, what are you thinking? And you said, we're going to win this national championship, no matter you won or not. So I think you are the only person who predicts the titles and wins it. So I never do that. But we're going to train hard enough to have an opportunity and see how it pans out. At the end of the day, could we develop the grit and toughness and resilience to stress by that in the next 7 or 8 months when the season starts to be able to do so?
Well, I'm so excited to see this new format. I'm sure it's going to be a new experience for everyone. So I'm excited to follow. Okay, so shifting gears we have a question. What is the chance now of a non-fencer to come to Notre Dame and make the team and win a monogram?
Well, evolution of the fencing, it's kind of have changed the landscape. I talked to my dear friend Tom Hensler about his experience and the people who come here, who went on to Notre Dame and became a monogram winners, being a walk-ons. That geography and that has expanded, and the numbers of the fencers. So when they start the fencing as well, if Francesca will tell you, probably she was 10. How old were you when you started? 10?
Yeah, 10 years old.
So when our recruited athletes now have at least 10 years of experience of competing rather than just training. So it's we do still recruit on based on the character. Not every single fencer will be the top 10 ranked and top 15 ranked, and we'll find someone beyond character based and will make this team better. And the chemistry, which is really important, will be the more viable with those kids and athletes being here, but a less and less possibility for walk-ons, because the roster limit is so, we can only carry so many athletes, and we recruit athletes from all over the world. We had, 15 kids for 13 different countries besides Americans this year. So we're all over the world to recruit the best. That kind of shrinks the ability to walk on opportunities, but we always search for those next amazing people walk into the door and tell us, okay, we want to be part of Notre Dame, and we still want to continue legacy of Coach DeChico, who opened the doors for so many, and not the change that, but we're so limited on those opportunities anymore.
Yeah, I mean, back when I was on the team, we certainly had some walk-ons, but they definitely had some experience. But I have to say, some of our walk-ons were our toughest and hardest working people on the team, and definitely were like evolved with us. So there's definitely, from my opinion, definitely room for them when necessary, I guess.
Absolutely.
Okay, so shifting gears a little bit, people would love to know your recruitment process for the elite fencers that you attract to the team.
The most important factor for us will be to bring them on campus. And campus truly opens the heart and minds of the people. This is the contagious place. So many examples. I saw the question from Jonas Schoenberg, and we didn't know that he would have a shot where he comes from and the background he's from, and they came here and absolutely love the campus. And reasons are different. Some of them want to go to Olympics and at the same time get a great education, but the biggest kind of asset for us, the campus visit, to see the vibe, see the school, connect with the kind of spirit here, and see our fencing facilities and see how the team trains. And then we could go in depth what Notre Dame could give to so-and-so elite fencer. I think that showing them the pathway to Olympics, to great education, but having the home when people would care for them, it could be, for us, the game changer for sure.
Totally. I fully agree with that. Are there any NIL opportunities for members of the fencing team?
Well, that's such a great and new topic. I don't think that NIL will touch the fencing whatsoever yet, because every school has a limited amount of money to play with NIL, and we are the heavy, we're fencing school, but playing football, obviously for that. We always say that's all we say, hey, we're a fencing school, but the football, the basketball, and the elite sports will take it. Our NIL are through the Rockne athletic fund. That would be our NIL opportunity for our kiddos to be able to travel all over the world and compete anywhere they want to. Our coaches went to the 24 World Cups last year. 24 World Cups, when our coaches actually traveled. I'm probably doing the least amount of World Cups I traveled, but so would be able to travel the kiddos. NIL will not be viable for us, but Rockne will be as important as NIL to us, Rockne funds.
Got it. Definitely a brand new topic for me too. Didn't exist when I was there.
No.
No, no. Um, Shifting gears to the status of the team today and I guess next season, how many men and women are on the team or this incoming, in addition to this incoming class?
So we hit probably the record number this year was 66 or 67 athletes on the roster. Francesca, your tenure, we had 60. We
Yeah.
actually, and so that again, the reasoning was there's so many kiddos who are great, but there's so many kids also want to be a part of Notre Dame culture. And they probably are not highly that ranked, but truly were the destination for them. And how can you say no? So we got to the point at 60 plus, and we are lucky enough to have a big enough facilities and enough coaching to facilitate all of this growth and development. And yet we are waiting for the House settlement decision with the roster limitation. So we're kind of in a unease spot, not knowing what's going to be a decision. Now, ultimately, we would love to keep as many kids we have now. The bigger family, the better. But we'll see what the decision will be from above, from NCAA, to be able to limit or not limit it where we at.
Yeah, there are certainly a lot of questions about the House decision, so we'll certainly stay tuned on what happens there. What limitations are there on scholarships for fencing?
So so the new House settlement also had one of the chapters does away, scholarship limitation will go away according to them, but university will not provide with any more scholarships that we have now. So we have to somehow, some way, if we want to expand to the scholarship limits, we have to create our own generate our funds with that, it's really hard. So education is so expensive at Notre Dame, and the scholarship, it's $87,000 for the full ride right now. So we are the same position we were 10 years ago or 20 years ago. We have a 4.5 scholarship for the men and 5 for the women. And we take that and cut it and divide and play whatever we can do so everyone could have some opportunity for something, or the star athletes earn what they have to. So we have to be very creative when it comes to putting the roster together, relation to scholarships. But we're hoping the more revenue we can generate from the Rockne, that eventually will be able to manifest to the scholarship increase and more opportunities to have a free education for more our athletes here.
Understood. Yeah, we'll stay tuned to that. Moving on to our international student athletes, I think you said there were 11 countries represented on the team.
I think 13 countries from 15.
13 countries.
Yes, as of now. We had 15 a couple of years ago, and I think we were down to 13, but we're working really hard to bring it back, the numbers.
Yeah. How do you go about finding and recruiting international students? Is it more difficult than US? I would imagine yes, but open to hear your thoughts.
So the 24 World Cups or 25 World Cups we went to, that includes the junior and the senior events, under 20 and opens. So our coaches are all over the world. We were at the World Championships. We traveled to European Championships, zonals, World Cups, and we will actively seek out, the athletes who are on the rankings, higher rankings, and we'll send them emails. We'll make the personal connection, but having such an incredible results, the kids come here and done so well on the World Cup level and Olympic level, such as yourself and the others, Francesca, those are the biggest attraction to our international student athletes to seek us as well. So it'll be 50-50 us traveling there and our presence being held. Heck, one of our avenues to advertise Notre Dame fencing will be throughout the FI World Fencing Federation website, and one of the prominent photographer is hired by us. And every World Cup you'll see the Notre Dame logo or Notre Dame socks. And the athletes who represent us on the highest level, win the medals, really shift those kids' kind of directions to us because Europeans want to come and get great education, but really want to continue their fencing to be in the high level as well. So, or Asians or anywhere. So that really the combination between us traveling, our great athletes representing us on a high level, and us advertising really heavily that Notre Dame is a fencing school, and if you come to States, this is the school you want to go to.
I agree. And with the tremendous success that you guys had at the Olympics, it certainly you don't need to advertise yourselves anymore. Everyone knows who you are. Everyone knows Notre Dame's a fencing school. So continue doing what you're doing.
Us,
Yes,
Francesca,
yes,
us.
of course, of course. Moving on to transfers, how does the transfer portal affect the fencing team?
We tried few transfers in the past, but Notre Dame is a very hard school to transfer to. So I'll tell you the number. I think the total number of the transfers, non-athletics or athletics, it's less than 20 a year. It's a very small number. So, and it has its own challenges that you have to be towards progress to graduation. You have to have enough credits when you transfer to Notre Dame as the right college. So far we have not had great success to transferring people in. And usually fencers don't transfer in and out. When they set their ways to school, they stay there, as you know. So we're not the recipients of the great transfer opportunities, but we're still working on it, possibilities here and there. And we never shy away from those opportunities and to push the envelope to be able to bring someone here from out. But so far we've been lucky enough that we did not need the transfers to hold our own.
Got it. Okay, we have a really fun question. It's about a magazine. So once upon a time, there was an annual magazine called, I assuming Style Color magazine. It was published and sent to all of those interested in Notre Dame fencing. This person recalled it listed all team members' records, won-loss data, the bios of the coaches, and others. Looking forward to getting another copy. Will another edition of this magazine get reintroduced?
So I used to call the media guide and had all the stats. Obviously, I think what was referred to media guide. And about 10 years ago, NCAA just said that no more media guide will be published or sent to recruits. Therefore, schools discontinued that. But we have an updated version of electronic version of it every single year. Our great Dave Stabrava always updates that, and we add more dimensions to it. And we have that possibility to distribute to everyone. So that's a great question. We'll be able to make that available for broader audience and our alumni for sure to be able to have that stats updated every single year.
Definitely. I mean, I keep my updates with the social media, but it might be nice to just look at the stats
We
and
will
see
send
who's
it to
coming
you.
on. Yeah, for
I think
sure.
future generations should know that Francesca Russo won two NCAAs for Notre Dame.
And then this person has a second question. I'm not really familiar with this, but Team Fun Ions usually fell in the fall, were a regular event sponsored by the team hierarchy. Any plans to revive this event? Otherwise, go Irish.
So I would. So I'm lost on this one, to be
I'm
honest.
lost too. I'm not sure, but
So 4 years we've never. Yeah, so maybe I can directly contact the person and
yes.
kind of get idea
I
what.
will say any football game, there's usually a team tailgate or something like that. So, or organized by someone on the team, and we keep that tradition alive. So I will say that
We have to be more organized ourselves here to have a fencing reunions more often. That is for
yes,
sure we need to do and invite all of you guys. Again, without you would not be where we at. So all of you back here and kind of rejoice and celebrate our existence for sure.
I would love to see that happen. I know Penn State does that, and we need to do everything Penn State does and more. So,
For sure.
um, this is the very last question, and I think it's a great question. What community service projects does your team take part in during the off season or on season as well?
Notre Dame has so many avenues for the community service. We have Fight for Life campaign. We do Adopt a Child in Needs, like you were a part of it, and the smaller avenues when the kids do through our athletic department and through SAC, which is Student Athlete Committee. So I know that our kids are really involved. We're not like a top ranked, but we're right there with everyone else. In terms of the off season, fencing is such a demanding sport anymore, and literally you have a couple of weeks off, and you have to back on track to be able to start preparing for the next competition. That will be pretty challenging for the modern day fencers, but I'm sure our kiddos do community service where they add in their own communities as well. So I could have it stats and the numbers, what we do, how we do it, and maybe we'll include that in the media guide as well when we release that to everyone else. But I
That would
know
be
that our
awesome.
kiddos are incredibly compassionate and involved in the lives here, including the community services as well.
I second that. In my time there, in addition to what we were doing on the fencing team, there were plenty of other athletes and student athletes who were participating in a ton of community service projects that because we were all family, we would join along. So plenty of options beyond what we do just with the Notre Dame fencing team. And with that, we ran through all of the questions. I didn't think we would have enough time.
Anyone has an extra question, I'm ready to answer. Catherine Wallace, I get to see you there. Hello.
Hi, Gia.
That
How are you?
wall.
Hi,
Wow,
Franny.
so many
Thank you
amazing
so
people.
much both for hosting this, and this is such a great opportunity to connect and hear about the team and everything that you've been working on. It's incredible to see how much the team has grown and how much Notre Dame athletics has developed over time.
We are so honored and proud to represent all of you guys. Truly, we have a few minutes before we stop, but our athletes after NCAA's, they interviewed all three of our individual champions: Esther Mohari, Magda Skarbukevich, and Chase Emmer. And all they talked about how much they wanted to win as a team, how much they wanted to represent this incredible place, how happy and proud they were to be a part of Notre Dame. There was nothing spoken about their achievements and their medals. And when you see that trend, and that was done like a literal lie right after they competed, there was no preparation for them, and they came from their hearts. When we get in the huddle together, it's all about the Irish. It's all about Notre Dame. It's all about legacy of our program, what Coach DeChico started here, and all the coaches continued. So truly, truly, our makeup and our DNA is different than any other schools. We're not better, we're different. We care more for each other, and we care for more than anyone about the school we represent. So we're so lucky and proud to be a part of the continuing this journey and making you guys proud.
Well, thank you, Gia.
Coach.
Thank you, Fran, for doing an amazing job moderating here today. A great turnout of fencing alums, so many eras represented here. Just want to offer you all one final thank you for all you do for the program. And they started to touch upon 2025 NCAAs, which happened on our home turf. So any of you who've been to that competition, by about day 3 on Saturday, it becomes everybody versus Notre Dame. So we'd love to see all of you in the North Dome of the Joyce Center supporting us, or whether it's our New York and Philly trip or over at Northwestern. Would certainly love to see you. Thanks for all you do in the Rockne Athletics Fund space. As Gia said, where we're able to offer certain opportunities for our student athletes that our peers simply cannot. That's a credit to all of you and the support that you provide every single day of the year. So we certainly have the greatest coach leading the charge, and I'm so lucky to get to work alongside him and play a very small role in everything he and his staff are doing. So Just want to thank you for spending an hour with us. This is something we'll look to do a couple times a year just to keep you connected to the program and understanding what's going on in this changing landscape. But Notre Dame is well positioned for these changing times. Notre Dame fencing is well positioned, and we're going to continue to work to make you all very proud. So thank you, Gia. Thank you, Fran. I hope you all have a great rest of your week, a great summer, and as always, go Irish.